back to another episode of Rundown and Broke Down, where we're working on a... Mike, what year is this?
1995 Nissan Skyline.
95 Nissan Skyline R33 GTS-T. Mike, why'd you buy this car?
I learned how to drive stick on the right-hand drive originally. Trying to drive it on the left hand is just awkward. I don't know, it feels awkward shifting with my right hand because I always feel like turning with my left is just a lot easier.
And that was when you were in England, right?
Yeah, when I lived over in England for about 2 years. It was definitely a good time.
And what was the biggest thing that made you want to get a Skyline?
Just for a car on the weekend, have something fun to play with, but at the same time, Skylines are just iconic in itself, so I always wanted to get one.
R33 is your favorite?
Prefer the 4s, but way too expensive.
Understandable.
Way too expensive.
Yeah, understandable with that one. They want a hefty price tag. Mike, why is it on jack stands?
Driving it home, and immediately you try driving home. Every time you try to shift it, entire car would just lock up, seize up almost, but essentially entire back brake's just locked up. Rotors turned red. Bad day.
It's always brakes. It's always brakes. Well, let's go ahead and we'll get into fixing the brakes and hopefully get the car off of the jack stands and get it to roll down the driveway and not use a pickup truck to stop it. Oh, don't fight me. So, Mike, you had this apart a little bit just to kind of look into it, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means.
Yeah.
Definitely. But when you can't push the pistons back in.
Pistons fried. Caliper fried.
And she's 3 different shades of red. I'm going to go with she locked up a little bit.
Is that red or brown?
Or is it orange? What color is it? I don't know. All right, where's the new rotor? We can at least get that on and start with that.
We want to do that or the shoes?
Well, looking at these shoes, they actually aren't bad. So they should be fine, and all the hardware moves freely. So, clock the new rotor on there. And there's a big ass hole in it. I'm assuming there's a screw that's supposed to go there. Was there one on the old ones? No. We'll just call it good there then. And we'll come back to that. We'll get the other one on just to make sure the parking brake works right. So I'll take this caliper off. Get that bolt out. And that piston actually looks a lot better. That one might be able to compress somewhat. Will you play along? You want to grab that ratchet I had? That 3/8 that I was using. Just try and pry out the piston on this side. See if we can compress it any.
Trying to find it.
It was that pass-through one.
Oh, the pass-through?
Yeah.
Just the actual pass-through?
Yeah. Oh, this one might be sticking a little bit. Maybe. Let's... Yeah. That one we'll have to look at a little bit more. And yeah. It's sticking slightly, although might be able to just adjust that out of it because I don't think the cable itself is sticking. I think it just needs adjustment. But let's see if we can pry this one. I think it moved a little bit. But you have both sides, right? So just do new ones.
Which is the small pad right here.
Yep. This one's lighter too. And make sure it all lines up, and it does. So we gotta take that out, and then I'll need a Phillips screwdriver. Number 2, looks like. So with this rotor being stationary mounted, by that I mean it mounts directly to the knuckle. And because it's dual piston, instead of having guide pins that the rotor itself slides on, the pistons have guide pins for the brake pads, which line up like so. So we got to get the old hardware out of this caliper, throw it into this one. And once that's taken care of, we will be able to get these brakes back together after we adjust that drum brake. So, yeah, I can't get you any lower, but what I can do, I'm going to pull you off of here. So right in there, you can see our shoe adjuster. And what I'm able to do is just take this flathead, push it, and adjust the shoes. So I'm adjusting them in. That way I can get the rotor to line up. And we're getting closer. So take you guys, put you back in there, and set you right there. All right, I got the parking brake working, or I got it to where the rotor went back on.
What happened?
Oh, it just needed to be adjusted. I adjusted the adjuster back in, and it went right on like it's supposed to. So now we just got to get that hardware out. Jesus, Mike.
Listen, sometimes we had shit that was like 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch bolts. And you just had to hold on and hope and pray for the best. Actually, do you know what a spud wrench is? I wonder if we would have a spud wrench here. I think they should be expensive. They're like 10-pound wrenches.
Why do we need a 10-pound wrench?
It's got a big spike on the end of it. It's used for lining holes and shit.
I was wrong. These don't thread in, but you can turn them so that they don't lock up. Just kind of break them free. You can just kind of push with your finger up there where it sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
You also turn it, that way you can line up this guy, which holds it in.
I mean, since we have to get brake fluid anyway. Do you want to see if they actually have the hardware there?
Well, it didn't come with the pads, and I know that these pins you're supposed to reuse. and this should be fine. I don't see any problems with it. And that little spring steel clip, like I said, it's just there kind of as a retention thing.
Yeah.
And it passes all the way through the pin, and then it hooks back up and around right there. Although these pliers will make use of getting these out. So make sure it slides in, and it does. Hold the caliper in place, get that first bolt started. And now we need that other bolt, which you said was in those glass jars over there.
Yeah. That's where I had that same tool for the lug nuts.
Except that I almost did this backwards.
Feasible, correct?
Yes. But bleeder screw always goes up. I just damn near put it in down because this is the other side's caliper. So yeah, this one bolts in like this. On the other side, it would be like this. So this one's actually for the driver's side of the car.
Yeah.
Because it's right-hand drive.
Good times.
Good time. Hey, at least I caught that.
I wasn't sure if you're gonna put it on that way. See that side?
I was just gonna bolt it up real quick. That way it was all good to go. And then I was sitting there going, hey, this doesn't quite look right.
You know the best part about like having it on the side of the highway was?
What?
When the cop pulled by, because I had my hazards on and it's like, 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
I had a tow truck sitting there. So he shows up and like, the only way to tow this thing is from the back. So I got to flip the car 180 degrees on the shoulder of 167 at like 8:30 at night. And the cop's like, yo, like, do you want some help doing this? And I'm like, you can just shut down one lane for like 5 minutes. Like, it'll make this all just a lot easier. He's like, all right. He's like, well, do you want me to do it? And I literally just opened up the car door and pointed inside of it from the passenger side. I was like, if you think you can drive it. And you just stood back, like, I'm going to close the lane down.
You just looked at it. It was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
How far the thing tilted.
Oh, I've adjusted this.
Once I saw it move, I was like, okay.
So, part that I forgot to put in. I didn't want to pull that all the way out, but whatever. We'll just reassemble it all. Because why the hell not? Is take these, you're going to slide them down in here, and they're going to clip into the side of the caliper right in here. Just pop those in, and then you're going to drop your pads in. Drop that in right there. Drop that in right there, and that holds the pads up and keeps them from moving around because there's a little lip on the bottom here that'll hold the pads in. You can see that little lip. Now, we're going to take this guy, set him in here, take our little guide pin, slide him through, and this guide pin, slide him through. Take our screwdriver, drive it the rest of the way through. Move the pad back because I didn't want it to slide that far. Then finish off the job there. Can you go back to where you're supposed to? Which is right there. Remember, anything's a hammer if you use it wrong enough. Which I'm sure you've had to do a time or two working on Air Force crap.
I remember a conversation that happened just before I got out. And it was about how this guy saw this tool in a magazine, and it was like a hammer, but it also had like, it had a flat end specifically, so, or it was a screwdriver that specifically had a flat end so you could hit it with something.
Oh yeah, the drive-through screwdrivers.
Yeah, and he showed it to our QA, and he's like, "Yo, can we get these for the toolboxes?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "You'll have everybody out here breaking everything overnight.
You're gonna get the one good screwdriver, and everyone's gonna break all the ones that aren't designed to do that."
Oh, 100%.
No, they sell those. I've seen them. I mean, I still kind of hammer on them regardless. It's my tools. I'll do what I want.
You don't want to know the amount of weird shit I hammered on to get the actual caliper off, or the rotor off from the other side. Whichever side's stuck.
Yeah, I adjusted it and it went on.
With that little, like, screw thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you have to do for that adjustment? Because I haven't seen much about those. I gotta look at a little bit.
Literally just take a screwdriver and push it up to get it to screw in, push it down to get it to screw out. And it's going to rotate over. That's it. You could also do the same thing with a pair of pliers.
I assume that's a little, okay.
So, when you install a rotor, always make sure this bleeder, not a rotor, caliper, always make sure the bleeder's on the top, not on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, it's not going to bleed right. You're going to have no brakes. Always put it on the top. Don't do what I was going to do because I wasn't paying attention. Do the same over here. Why is it pooping? Why is your jack pooping oil? What the hell?
Why?
Why is it bleeding all of a sudden? That's so weird.
Oh shit, I forgot to bleed. Like what?
So, I literally can't make this up. We're sitting here, and the jack just starts puking oil out of it, and starts bleeding itself for no reason.
There's not even any weight on it.
Yeah. It's all the way down. It just started. That's a new one.
Real weird shit happens in this shop. That's all I'm saying.
So we just finished up getting everything buttoned up on these calipers. All we have left to do is bleed the brakes. But we just noticed something. This caliper is black, and the other one is red. And
it's hard to tell the difference. The other one's like brown and black.
Yeah. So somebody at some point only swapped one of the calipers, which is interesting because it's not what you're supposed to do. But again, still worth keeping. It's not necessarily that they're different calipers. It just means somebody only swapped one and didn't swap the other. Also, it looks like the boots on these ones are gone, or on this one's gone. The boot got eaten away, so
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so it's still worth keeping, and you can get it rebuilt. But now we're going to move on to the front. There we go. Move that out of the way. Move these guys over here. And just remember, when you do tires, you have staggered rims. Meaning your rears are bigger than your fronts.
Are they?
Yep. See, that's your front, this is your rear. See the difference? So, go ahead and turn this all the way. Get that right there. And first thing first, we'll take, as you call it, the chode driver.
It's the best driver.
And get them in here. Break that free. Get it in here. that free. Now, get in here and pull this clip out. Slide these out. And can you grab the pliers from under the car? I tried to slide them over to you and they didn't make it all the way.
Oh yeah, so they were like 5 feet.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pull that out. Try not to get hit in the face with brake hardware. And then, as per usual, try to see if these will go in any. Determine how good they are. And I've seen a lot worse, but this caliper is actually probably the best out of all of them.
Shit. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Front driver's side. Not where the dip in their road's going to be at. Actually, no. It's not. No. Think for a second here. No.
Alright, fine. Fuck you. We'll do this your way. By force. So you joke about that.
I've done it. I missed it. There's a piece of equipment we had right before I got out. If you wanted to work on the inside of it, you just slide yourself underneath it and just go stand up.
If a bolt is too tight, ladies, gentlemen, kids, fairy tale things, cut that part out.
If lefty loosey, or
If a bolt's too tight, just give it some shock treatment.
If righty tighty suddenly becomes lefty loosey.
Cry. Your options are cry. Oh, motherfuck. Get the brake line out of the way first. Probably make it a little bit easier.
There it is.
There we go. Fighting me way more than it should. They also have aftermarket front control arms. That's part of what's helping lower it so much.
A lot of adjustment left.
Well, it's the way that it's built. I mean, there is a good amount of adjustment in these fronts, I can tell you that for sure.
How much you think you'll be able to get it up?
Just basing off of what I know about these coilovers and then also what I know about the coilover itself between the front and rear, should be able to get this up 3 inches.
3 inches?
Yeah. Should be able to get enough out of them.
1, 2, about that.
Get it to where it's not gonna fucking destroy itself the moment you look at a pile of dust in the road.
This thing destroyed itself trying to get into the driveway.
Oh, I'm sure. You're missing a fog light.
What do you?
Pretty sure a fog light's supposed to go there.
Both of those are there. You know what they are?
But
they're my blinkers.
Shouldn't be.
They're my blinkers, bud.
Shouldn't be.
Want me to prove it?
No, I believe you. I'm just saying they shouldn't be.
That's why I'm saying I want to get the actual, the thing for that, but I don't know where I'm going to find the connector for it.
eBay. That's what I did.
It'll have the actual electrical connector for it?
Yeah. It'll come with the lights.
Because you know which one I'm talking about, right? I know you've seen it. It has the fog light and the blinker light on the bottom.
Yeah. No, you can probably order that on eBay just fine. So because the last one fought me so hard, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pre-assemble this.
Got you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So,
I'm just glad this thing's finally fucking coming together. Jesus Christ.
yeah, how long has it been?
Listen. 4 scores and many years ago.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Yeah, it was bad. Well,
You've been trying to fix your R33, right?
Well, it literally happened the day that I bought it.
Yeah.
So that was like right before I left climbing towers. So that was like a year and some change ago. But that came to, I moved to this job. And parts are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so is a mortgage.
I wouldn't know about that part. Rent's fucking expensive.
My mortgage is split in half, and I'm still paying about $11.50 a month.
Shit.
Kendrick's paying the other $11.50. Need help?
Just gotta line it up. There we go. And now, the easy part then.
So it's just a screwdriver, pull the clip comes out, you get the clip out, you pull the fucking brakes, but you gotta take that fucking pin out first. The one that looks like they fucking damn near made it out of a goddamn paper clip.
Remember, kids,
Anything.
anything's a hammer when you use it wrong enough.
Fucking do it.
Literally rebuilding R33 Skyline brakes in a barn.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I never thought I'd see this day.
Hey, I'm telling you. Keeps it out of the weather.
No, I'm just saying, I never thought I'd be, oh, barn find R33.
Pretty much. Kendrick had Blythe over one time. We were all sitting here chilling. We walked up here for a minute and I pulled the car cover off. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just casually pull a car cover. Like, where'd this even come from? I was like, Dogecoin. That's exactly where it came from.
I made investments and pulled out at the right time.
Actually, if you want to be technical, I put it at the wrong time.
If you want to be really technical, I still don't know how any of that shit works.
Dude, about roughly 5 days before I pulled out, I was up 120,000.
God damn.
And when I pulled out, I was only about 25. Yeah. I should have sold. When I told myself I should have sold, but I'm a fucking idiot and I didn't. Even now, the crazy thing is, if I would have had it, if I would have just held it this whole time, I'd still be up like 80 grand.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have an R33.
No, but I'd have 80 grand and then I had
And an R34.
Probably. Actually, no, I have to wait for that. I think until October for the GTRs. Then I would have been up 80. And then I would have financed the last 40. That's the one good thing about this, though. If I couldn't afford to like get it fixed and shit right away, I didn't have to make payments on it. That's because my bank wouldn't give me a loan because they're a bunch of assholes. When the people did the mortgage paperwork, they fucked it up. And they had me as the only person on the mortgage. But I'm not the only person on the mortgage. So it didn't show it as being split. And they were supposed to file it as being split so I could actually still get loans and shit. I wanted to go get a loan the first time. They're like, yep, nope, you have way too much debt.
You're like, what are you talking about?
I was like, all right, cool. Like, we can't afford to give you a loan. Like, you won't be able to pay it off. Like, you're going to be screwed. I'm like, I'll be fine. I was like, I'm only asking for like 10 grand. Like, I can pay that off right now. Like, what do you mean? You want to do it? Try to take a personal loan from the bank. They wouldn't do it. And like of course, like 4 months later, you get a loan for the car because my 300 blew up.
Why do you hate me, Rotor? Alright, well. Since it also wants to be a pain in the ass, I guess I'm going to disassemble the caliper.
Is it fine for it to be that tight on it, though?
Huh?
Is it going to be fine for it to sit that
Yeah,
tight?
it'll break itself in. It's just trying to work its way over the ledge. That's it.
The lip?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Did have a buddy on him with a nice ass RX-7. Still wonder if he imported that thing back. Did it have an R34 or an MK4?
Mark 4.
Yeah.
I like the Mark 3s better, personally.
For Supras?
Yeah. I just think they look nicer.
You know what this shop had in fucking like mint shape?
What?
An RB30.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Jesus Christ. What is it? It went in the 1988. It was the one before the R32.
R31?
Yeah. There was an RB30. I think that was the RB30.
RB20?
Jesus Christ, what the fuck was it? Yeah, there you go. Jesus Christ. Yeah, my number's all fucked up today.
Hey, there is a 34 for sale on the marketplace right now. $8 grand.
Don't tempt me. I've already made it.
It's an automatic.
Ew.
Rear wheel drive.
Ew.
RB20.
Ew.
NA.
And it's an,
No wing.
It's an R34?
Yeah, it's an R34.
Why?
I don't know. Probably came from Canada.
Why? Save the manual. Even though now I haven't driven manual in like 4 years. Except for when I drove this thing back. And then it caught fire. Almost. I wish you would have been there that day with me at work.
What, when the brakes failed?
No. When that car caught on fire in the neighborhood.
Oh, you were just making deliveries and it caught on fire?
Yeah. Dude was riding my ass all the way into the neighborhood. I'm in that big ass box truck. Pull in, park, hop out. This guy swings in behind me, swings out in front of me, does a U-turn at like the three-way intersection up ahead, like right in the neighborhood. Swings around, goes to the house, like catty corner to the house that I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And you see like white smoke start coming out the hood. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And I'm like staring at the little, the gap line right in between the hood and the front bumper. I'm just staring at it and I start seeing like a little bit of like orangey red. And I'm like, ooh. And the smoke starts turning black. I'm like, oh shit. He runs out, throws his fucking hood open, shit's all fucking like there's little parts underneath that are fucking flaking off and burning down. And I look over and the Super's just running down the fucking sidewalk with a fire extinguisher. I just sat in my truck the whole time. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm not pulling my fire extinguisher for this.
Not pulling my fire extinguisher, getting flagged by the DOL.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have a fire extinguisher? Well, I put out a fire. That's why I don't have a fire extinguisher.
Then I gotta go back and call work. I use my fire extinguisher. Why?
Because somebody's car was on fire.
I am. It's in the neighborhood. I looked over. Car's on fire. What you want me to do? Lose my shit if they weren't the right calipers.
Yeah, you spent a lot of money on them.
You know why, right?
So you could have brand new ones that are actually good.
That's not the only reason.
Because they don't make them anymore.
That's a fact. They don't make like the rear left or right one. I can't remember which one. Because I remember calling a Nissan dealership because a friend of mine said one of the shops down south has a good connection with the Japanese market that they can get you parts. And I called him and I was like, hey, so you guys happen to have this part? And he's like, you hear him like typing away at his computer for a second. He looks up and he's like, huh, that's weird. Apparently they just don't make like the back left one anymore. But just the back left one. I'm like, what the fuck?
Everyone's probably, anybody who's watching this probably screaming at me because I'm tapping on the powder coating. What do you want me to do? It's no other way to get it in. That's a lie.
I mean, if I ever go to get this thing repainted or even just fully touched up, which will probably happen at some point.
Bright purple.
I thought about painting it neon or midnight purple.
Probably be expensive as hell.
Yeah.
Just for the paint. Not even the paint job, but the paint.
Getting that bolts back in.
I'm just getting the line back in right now. So now at this point, all we have to do is get brake fluid, lead the brakes, get the car on the ground, realize I haven't had a jack stand underneath this the entire time.
Nice. Jesus.
I just looked over casually and was like, I wonder what that's for.
Jesus.
It was a product trustability test. How much we trust your floor jack.
Right now, debating on which O'Reilly's I want to go to.
What's the closest one?
Exactly. They're both like roughly the same distance. One's gonna. No, I know.
The last part store I saw was like in the middle of Graham.
It's like right at the bottom of that big ass hill.
Yeah.
Exactly the one you're talking about. Because when I go back home from work, sometimes I stop by that Burger King and get chicken fries. Chicken fries are the shit.
There we go. For the most part, brand new brakes. So we got the car out. And these are the old rotors. Which, yeah, they've been sitting outside, but You can see heat transfer. And the car sits so low we had to use multiple blocks. But it's out. How do you feel about that, Mike?
Good, fucking way better. Holy shit.
So now we just need to bed the brakes and see how it goes. Do you think if you back up over there that you'll be able to clear and come back around straight? Like right next to where my car is?
Yeah, well, we're heading out.
Yeah, we need to bed the brakes. You want to do that, or you want me to do it?
Do you feel comfortable doing it?
Yeah. Now you're noticing right now how low the car is sitting in the front. That is not by Mike's doing. That is by the previous owner who was in Japan's doing. We have since remedied how low it was sitting. That way it's actually drivable, because he was not a fan of how low it was, and it would scrape pretty much everywhere. So don't worry about that. No flack for it. He didn't do it. He didn't even know how to do it. So just remember, we fixed that. So the process of bedding is you want to get the car up to speed. Make sure you're on a good back road like we are. And you want to get the car up to about 50, or not 50. For the first few beds, you want to get it up to about 30. Do slow progressive stops down to 30. Now, being that this is in kilometers, I'm just doing 60 and 40. And you want to do that about 5 times. And you'll feel the brake pedals start coming around as they get warm. And then we're going to get up to about 45. Get it down to 30. About 5 times. And make sure you give it a little bit of time as you're doing it. That way you're not running into overheating the brakes. This motor's torquey.
Oh, see?
Yeah,
we didn't even do anything.
Low. You need to get those wrenches and we'll adjust the coilovers.
I'll probably order them here in the next couple weeks. Probably order them in next paycheck, get it all lined up. Probably want to turn around on, I'll tell you which road. Yeah,
where that sign is?
Right, yeah, right here that sign is. Because otherwise then you get on 161, that's where everybody's blasting like 85.
Oh, that is not right. Stops that we're going to have to make, but we want to get some distance between that van.
Gonna be speeding up?
Yep, just before the hill. That way we can do just a long drag on the brakes and make sure it's clearing off everything.
Yeah. Especially all that stuff in the front.
So low.
Oh, I'm driving on a flat part of the road. Every time.
Jesus. Mike, why?
It wasn't me!
Why did some poor man in Japan do this?
Drop stick for the first time in 4 years.
Alright, Mike. You ready?
Oh God, no.
You got no one coming. So you're good. I'm instinctively reaching for the pedals for some reason. little far over on the road. I'd go for fourth. You're sitting at $4,000.
My only thing is that shitty downshifting. I always forget what gear I need to fucking go into afterwards.
Slow down a bit for the hill. That way we don't
Drop the third.
Yeah, drop the third. So I'd like to apologize for kind of the shaky video here. We didn't have the right stuff to film in the car with us, but we went ahead and did it anyway. And I also forgot to film an outro, so that's what this is going to be. Mike has not driven this car since he bought it. He bought it, was driving it home, and experienced critical brake failure because it had to be shipped literally overseas from Japan and ended up stuck on the side of 167. So he called me out after he finally got the new calipers because it's kind of a pain to find those brakes for this car as they stopped manufacturing them in the US because they would come off of a 300ZX turbo. Called me out, was like, hey man, can we fix the car? And I went, for sure. And we ended up fixing the car. We got all the brakes working and it still has a few hiccups here and there, but this is the first time that he's driving it since it experienced that critical brake failure, and he hasn't driven stick in quite a while. So this is the first time that he's driving it, and the first in a long series of figuring out what exactly the car still needs to get it running to where he can enjoy it on the weekends like he always wanted to. But I would like to thank everyone for watching this episode of Rundown and Broke Down. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll try to keep working on stuff that's cool like this, and also progress my knowledge of different vehicles. This is the first time I ever got to drive and or work on a Nissan Skyline, and it was a pleasure, to say the least. And I would like to thank Mike for letting me drive it as well as letting me fix it, giving me the honor of working on it, because I've always loved these cars. I think they're very cool. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.